What's going on, guys? Matty here. You're watching another episode of Field Tested. So you guys requested that you guys wanted to see a review of the 2018 Hoyt HyperForce. If you haven't seen our Hoyt RedWorks video, go check it out right now. I will link it right here. But upon request, so here's the HyperForce. Hoyt came out with two new bows this year. Everyone knows about the big bad Hoyt RedWorks. You know, it's better than sliced bread. But a lot of people are skipping over is the underdog, and that is the Hoyt HyperForce. Now, the Hoyt HyperForce is pretty much the exact same bow as the Hoyt RedWorks, besides this one's aluminum. The RedWorks is carbon. But as far as cams, roller guard, axle specs, all that good stuff, it is the exact same bow. Now, if you already know the specs of the RedWorks, you can go ahead and skip this part of the video. But if you don't know, I'm going to tell them you right now. So the axle is going to be 32 inches axle. Brace height is going to be 6 inches. The net weight is 4.3 pounds. And your IBO rating is 340 feet per second. Now, your RTS is probably about 315, depending on your draw length, arrow you're shooting, poundage, etc. But it's got the same structure, just like the RedWorks. It's got the ZT cams, that just stands for zero torque. And Hoyt has modified this that it tunes much easier than the Defiant. It shoots a little bit better than Defiant, in my opinion. And it's just a great bow. Now, the reason why they changed the cams is also because they changed the roller guard. The roller guard is much shorter than the Defiant series, and on the Defiant series, the roller guard took out all that torque issue that people had. But now with the new cams, the cams are taking out all of that. Plus, like I said, it tunes easier. It's a little bit smoother. It could be a little bit quieter than the Defiant. It sounds the same to me. But it also has the exact grip, and basically this is just a focus grip that creates better consistency that Hoyt found in shooters that, they took a percentage of people that said this is where they grip the most. So basically the curves that they created just makes you more consistent on where you grab it. It helps you find your grip consistency much better. And I'm not sure how I like it, to be honest. I like the wood grip, so I'm not sure if it's just the texture or I actually like the Defiant grip better, but it's not a bad grip. Also, on the front of the riser, what's a little bit different than the RedWorks is there's this little gap right here, almost like a valley. That's to create better consistency with your grip again. So when you're holding your bow and you hold it out, you can put your fingers in that little valley right there, and it'll line your fingers up the same spot every time for better consistency. And the Hoyt Defiant had that, and I really like that, and I'm glad they had that on the new HyperForce this year. So for color options, you pretty much have the same options as the RedWorks and as recent years, but there's a couple new ones that I really like this year. The traditional colors, you have the buckskin that's tan riser with black limbs. You have the all black. You have the Realtree Extra, which always looks good. But you also have the Under Armour Baron. You also have the OptiFade Subalpine, and then you have the QU Verta 2.0, which is my favorite color in my opinion. So going back to the cams, they're the exact same thing as the Hoyt RedWorks. As far as draw lengths goes, you have cam options 2, 3, and 4. Now cam number 2 is 24 inches to 28 inches draw length. Cam number 3 is 27 to 30 inch draw length, and then cam number 4 is 29 to 31 inch draw lengths. Your weight options are going to be in 10-pound increments. You can get them anywhere from 30 to 40, and then you have that option all the way up to 70 to 80. So plenty of options, by far the widest variety from any company, and that's another great thing that Hoyt does with their bows. I forgot to mention it earlier, also you have this new yoke system, which is part of the the cams, helping out with the torque, helping out with the tuning. I really like this guy. It makes it really easy, especially to put a drop away rest on, because you have a little gap right here. So you just mount your rest, you tie a little pigtail knot, and you can just slide your knot up into the Y, and it just stays there, and you don't have to put it in a press, which makes it so much more easier. And I really like that on these new bows from Hoyt this year. My personal opinions on them, I like the HyperForce a little bit better than the Redworks. I think the Redworks is a little bit overpriced. You can find them, I've seen them as low as $15.50 all the way to $17.50. It does come with a case, so there's another $100, maybe $200 you can knock off of it. But just as far as shooting it and hand shock, carbon does shoot different from aluminum in the way it feels in the aftershot. There could be more or less vibration. The balance of when you're holding it out could be better or worse. In my opinion, I like the heavier weight. I like the way aluminum feels after I shoot it. I don't think there's as much vibration in my opinion. But like I said, it's a lot cheaper than the Redworks. I think it shoots better, but you should definitely shoot both. Don't take my word for it. It's a great bow. It's very consistent whether you're shooting the Redworks or the HyperForce, but shoot both at 10 yards with no target, with your eyes closed, just so you can get the feel of the cam cycle, the way the post-shot feels, get the full experience, and decide, is it worth the money to go to carbon if you're debating on the HyperForce or the Redworks. But that's my opinion, guys. That's my thoughts. Take them, leave them. I don't really care. But if you like this video, comment on what you want to see next, or what you thought of this video. Share it with your friends, and see you guys next time.